Okay, I want you to listen to Nigel Farage because I've got two recordings here made 18 months apart.
Because since 2013, I've been unable to live any sort of normal life, and I never will be for the rest of my days. It's because of constant media abuse over 15, almost 20 years. My life's unlivable without protection, serious protection.
So I was doing well, making money, no pressure, no stress, no abuse from the press. Life couldn't have been better. And then Rishi Sunak calls a snap general election.
Both clips are him. They both cannot be true. This is what happens when the defence you reach for in a panic is actively contradicted by something you've already said on stage to your own party 18 months earlier. And the question we need to answer is why that particular defence was the one that Nigel Farage reached for. On Friday night, on the evening of the local election results, Beth Rigby asked Farage about a £5 million personal gift he received in June of 2024 and didn't declare it to Parliament. The donor was Christopher Harbun, a Thailand-based crypto billionaire who has since become Reform UK Limited's biggest political donor. Farage took the money weeks before announcing he was standing for Parliament in Clacton. The Guardian found out about it. He didn't tell anyone else. And Beth Rigby pushed him on why.
I'm just saying, why didn't you just declare it?
Because there was nothing political in its nature at all. It was purely because since 2013, I've been unable to live any sort of normal life, and I never will be for the rest of my days.
That's the defence. The $5 million wasn't political, it was a personal money for personal security, because his life had been so unbearable for so long, he needed it just to live safely, and then walked off.
But it was unconditional.
Do you wish you had now, given that it's a controversy around you that you don't need?
Everything I do is controversial.
No, taking £5 million quid from
I'm
a
really
political
sorry.
donor...
I'm really sorry. I've got other interviews to do.
one other thing...
You want to discuss the elections,
Nigel,
we'll
can I
discuss
ask you
them.
what... all right, let me ask you one more...
It's a waste of space.
OK, let me
Sky
ask...
News, typical...
Nigel, let me ask you one more thing about it. OK,
here.
you're saying I didn't need to and it's
here.
OK. Why didn't you just declare it, though?
Because it's not political, it's purely personal, and within the rules, which I read carefully and had lawyers look over, it wasn't needed. Anyway, we've won an election. Very good.
Thank you for your time.
Right. 3 months after that money had landed in his account, here is what Nigel Farage was telling his own party.
So I was doing well, making money, no pressure, no stress, no abuse from the press. Life couldn't have been better.
So let's just get this straight. 3 months after taking the money he says was for personal security, in a life he said that had been unlivable since 2013, the man stood on stage in front of his own party faithful and described his life as, and I quote, couldn't have been better. So either Nigel Farage was lying to a conference hall about how easy and comfortable his life was, or he's lying to Beth Rigby about how impossibly dangerous it is. There's no version of events where both statements can survive contact with each other. And it gets better, because in the same speech where he tells the room life couldn't have been better, he also opens with a joke.
Now just give me a second. Just give me a second. Do you like them? Very expensive.
He's pulled out a pair of glasses from his pocket and says they're very expensive. And then he delivers a line I think he's probably going to wish he hadn't recorded if the mainstream media actually get a hold of it.
But guess what? I bought them myself. How about that?
Now, if you're a bit lost at this point, don't worry. This was a dig at Keir Starmer. Starmer had been gifted designer eyewear by Labour donor and declared it on his parliamentary register in the ways that the rules require. And Farage clearly thinks that the joke writes itself. Obviously the room laughs and the audience clap, and the man standing on that stage has £5 million from a billionaire sit in his account for the past 3 months. And he's telling that room full of people, and the country that are watching it live, that unlike the grasping Prime Minister, he is a man who pays for his own things. It is, genuinely, one of the most expensive jokes he's probably ever made. And the £5 million wasn't the only entry in the ledger. In July of 2024, 2 weeks after the state opening of Parliament, Farage took a £30,000 trip to the United States. His on-record defence for that one was, and I'm quoting, "Friends that are getting on aeroplanes will give me a seat. They're not really gifts, are they?" Earlier in 2024, there was a £9,000 Belgian hospitality with ringside seats to a boxing match, all of it active and in his pocket on the evening he stood on stage in Birmingham, holding up those expensive glasses and telling the country life had never been better. Of course it had never been better. He just had £5 million dropped into his account by a man who describes as a friend. Now, back to the Beth Rigby on Friday, because there was a moment in that interview that catches him.
You think it looks okay. What would you have said if Keir Starmer had done that? And can you see how it might look to some people?
I don't know Keir Starmer's personal finances, and to my knowledge, no one's ever stolen that information and put it in the public domain.
Look at his face. He has no answer. He pivots immediately to, "I don't know Keir Starmer's personal finances." Watch what he did there. To Nigel Farage, the leak is an offence. The gift itself and his failure to declare it are not the problem. It's you knowing about any of it that is the problem. But we know what he would have done if Keir Starmer had done this. He told us in September of 2024. He stood on a stage and made the most expensive joke of his career. And what he showed us in that moment was a man who truly believes that the rules of public life apply only to other people. He just forgot to mention what was already in the same pocket as those glasses.